Just about set for baseball here in Baltimore as the Baltimore Orioles open up a 3-game set with the visiting Cincinnati Reds. Hi everyone, my name is Michael Marcantonini, live from Oriole Park at Camden Yards here in beautiful Baltimore, Maryland. O's and Reds, two of the most exciting teams in the major leagues right now. Two young teams with a lot of studs on both sides getting going here in Baltimore. There was some rain earlier in the day, but clear skies right now. The tarp is off the field. Doesn't even look like it rained. And we are just about set for baseball. The Birds are out on the field as they get set to host the Reds for the first time and only time this season. Left-hander Cole Irvin gets the ball for the Orioles tonight against another left-hander, Brandon Williamson, for the Reds. So a couple of southpaws going at it tonight. And while Irvin throws his warm-up tosses, let's get you the starting lineups for tonight's game, starting with the Orioles. Leading off, it's the designated hitter, Austin Hayes. Batting second, the catcher, Adley Rutschman. Anthony Santander's over at first base. He bats third. Aaron Hicks in right field batting fourth. Ramon Urias is the third baseman. He bats fifth. Cedric Mullins in the sixth hole in center field. Jordan Westberg making his major league debut is at second base batting seventh. Ryan McKenna in the eighth hole in left field. And rounding out the lineup batting ninth, it's the shortstop, Jorge Mateo, behind Irvin. For the Reds, top three in the order, Kevin Newman, Matt McLain, Jonathan India. 4 through 6, Ellie De La Cruz, Spencer Steer, and Nick Senzel. 7 through 9, Tyler Stevenson, TJ Friedel, and Kurt Casale. Well, Irvin is finished with his warm-up tosses, and we are ready to go here in Baltimore. Reds rocking their road gray tops and bottoms with red hats, white C on the front of the cap. Orioles wearing their home white tops and bottoms with Orioles written across the chest in orange and in cursive lettering. First pitch of the night from Cole Irvin is over. Well, missed a little bit inside, looked good, but it is called a ball, 1-0. So here's Kevin Newman, who's leading things off for the Reds. Newman at first base tonight. Next pitch from Irvin, sent in the air, deep left field. McKenna going back on it. That one's still going, and it sails off the top of the wall into left center. Newman around second, but he stops there. It's a leadoff double for Kevin Newman. And a man in scoring position for the Reds from the get-go. Well, that ball was crushed. It would have been out last season, but with the fences moved back now here at Camden Yards, that one off the top of the wall. It was a shot. Got just about all of it, but it hit just below the 398 sign in deep left center. So a leadoff double for Newman. He's at second with no outs for rookie shortstop Matt McLain. Irvin looks at second with Westberg, the second baseman, pinching in. First pitch over for a strike to McLain, and the count's 0-1. McLain hitting .325 with a .380 on-base percentage and a .541 slugging percentage in 37 games as a big leaguer. 20 extra base hits in those 37 games as well. Irvin, another look at second. Healthy lead for Newman out there. 0-1 breaking ball fouled back. And the count's 0-2. So Irvin, after allowing the leadoff double on his second pitch of the night, is ahead of McLain, 0-2. We'll see what he comes with here. Irvin, a 6'4 lefty, 29 years old, in his fifth major league season. 5-pitch pitcher, fastball, changeup, curveball, sinker, cutter. Looks out at second where Newman is, 0-2, fouled back. And the count stays where it is. Nice crowd on hand tonight for a little Monday night action in Baltimore. I mentioned earlier that we had some rain come through, a couple different heavy rain showers, but grounds crew got the tarp on the field. They got it off in plenty of time to start this thing not too much after when we were supposed to get going, just a 15-minute delay. 0-2 again. McLain fouls another one back. So the count stays at 0-2 for one of multiple rookie phenoms in this Reds lineup. McLain, not only did he break onto the scene in a big way in his first week, well, he capped that off with an NL Player of the Week honor in his second week as a big leaguer from May 22nd to 28th. Not just the NL Rookie of the Week, Player of the Week, as he sends a pop-up over to first base. Santander makes the grab, and that is out number one here in the first. So one out for Irvin and the O's. That brings up the three-hole hitter, Jonathan India. Right-handed batter, hitting in the 3 spot in this Reds lineup over at second base tonight. And the Reds have a lot of pieces that they can move around in their infield. You got McLean, De La Cruz, and India. All three of those guys can play second, short, and third. So David Bell, the Reds manager, has a lot to work with there. Breaking ball over to India. It counts quickly 0-1. And when you have versatility like that in the field, it just makes piecing together a lineup so much easier. You know, you can see what a guy has at three different infield spots. You know, to have one guy who you can move around is great, but to have three, even better. Newman dancing off second with one out. Irvin steps off to look him back. Set the defense for the Orioles. Adley Rutschman's behind the plate. Ramon Urias is the third baseman. Jorge Mateo at short. Jordan Westberg in his major league debut at second. Anthony Santander at first. Ryan McKenna in left field. Cedric Mullins patrolling center. And Aaron Hicks manning right. Irvin keeping an eye on Newman out there. Continues to dance off the bag. Next pitch to India, over for a strike. So quickly 0-2. Irvin's done a good job getting ahead of the last two hitters after he fell behind Newman, then allowed the double. India, a .263 hitter on the year with a .349 on base. Leads the Reds in games played. He's played in every single one of the Reds' 78 games this season. 0-2, it won't matter. Time is called. And that's a pitch clock violation on Cole Irvin. Took too long to get that one to the plate. So an automatic ball. The count is now 1-2 on India. Irvin enters tonight's game with a .771 ERA, 20 earned runs in 23 1/3 innings of work. This is his 8th appearance, 6th start for the O's. Two-strike pitch lined into left. That's down in front of McKenna. Stop sign at third base, so the O's keep the Reds off the board for the time being, but it's now first and third for the Redlegs with one out here in the first. So India stops at first. Newman had the stop sign coming around third. And that brings up rookie phenom Ellie De La Cruz. Switch hitter will bat right-handed against the southpaw Irvin. De La Cruz gives fist bump to Adley Rutschman, the O's catcher, behind the plate. And he will hit in an RBI spot. So Rutschman out in front of home plate to flash some defensive signals to the infield. The O's will keep Urias, Mateo, and Westberg back. The first baseman, Santander, is holding on India. So he's up, and there's a big hole on the right side. First pitch to De La Cruz, rips it foul down the third base line. It's 0-1. Steady diet of breaking balls from Irvin so far tonight. For a guy who relies heavily on his fastball most of the time. No score, top of the first here in Baltimore. First and third for the Reds with one out, as the O's and Irvin look to keep the Reds off the board. De La Cruz in the box. 0-1, fouls it off down the right field line, now popped up out of play. It's 0-2. Third straight batter that Irvin has gone ahead 0-2 on. Newman a leadoff double. He's at third. McLean popped out. India at first after the one-out single. And now De La Cruz down 0-2. O's looking to roll a pair up the middle. Mateo and Westberg, the middle infield combo tonight. Irvin looks over at first. 0-2 to De La Cruz. Breaking ball just missed. Everybody in the seats wanted that one. It looked good, but called a ball 1-2. So Irvin, a steady diet of breaking balls so far tonight, but he throws his fastball almost 40% of the time this season, with the changeup at about 22%, curveball and sinker each at 18%. Next pitch, breaking ball on the outside corner, a called strike 3. Big ovation from the home crowd as Irvin puts away De La Cruz for out number 2 here in the first. And that's a big out as the left fielder Spencer Steer steps in the right-handed batter's box. So 2 gone, still no runs home. We're scoreless in the top of the first. Runners remain at the corners with 2 down. So here's Steer, another one of these talented Reds rookies. And he will look to plate the first run of the game. First pitch to Steer. Fastball catches the top of the zone. It's 0-1. Steer batting .274 with a .361 on base percentage this season. With a .477 slugging, that gives him an .838 OPS. This is his 76th game of the season, second on the team, behind India. Irvin taking his time out there. Left-hander to the plate. Breaking ball sent through the hole between short and third into left field. It's an RBI single for Spencer Steer, and it's 1-0 Reds in the top of the first. For Steer, that is his 44th RBI of the season. And the Reds jump on the board first tonight. He's left a pitch a little up in the zone, and Steer didn't miss it. So the third hit of the inning for Cincy, and Newman, who doubled to start the game, comes in to score. Now Irvin will look to limit the damage. Here is Nick Senzel, the right fielder, batting in the 6th hole tonight. Guy who's bounced around all over the diamond in his short big league career so far. First pitch breaking ball misses outside, 1-0. Senzel, drafted as an infielder out of Tennessee, was the 2nd overall pick by the Reds back in 2015. Made the transition to the outfield in recent years. Pitch outside. Count is 2-0 now on Senzel. O's looking to limit the damage. 1-0 Cincy so far. So Senzel, number 2 overall in 2016 after a standout career as a volunteer in Knoxville, Tennessee. Mickey Moniak went number 1 to the Phillies that year. And that's a draft that has produced some sneaky talent in the big leagues. It hasn't been one of the better drafts over the last decade or so, but some sneaky talent there. Line drive, caught by the third baseman, Urias. And that's a gold glove play at the hot corner from Ramon. Saves a run, maybe 2, and gets Irvin and the O's out of the inning. The Reds get a run on 3 hits. Spencer Steer brings home the first run of the game with an RBI single. And it's 1-0 Cincy after a half inning of play here in Baltimore. Take a quick break and come back for the bottom half after these messages. Bottom of the first inning from Oriole Park at Camden Yards as the O's and Reds go at it in Game 1 of a 3-game series here in Baltimore. Austin Hayes, Adley Rutschman, and Anthony Santander, the top 3 in the O's order, to face left-hander Brandon Williamson. First pitch, fastball catches the outside corner for a strike. Hayes showed bunt but pulled back, and it is 0-1. 1-0 Cincy after a half inning of play, a run on 3 hits, including an RBI single from Spencer Steer in the top of the first. 0-1 pitch is outside to Hayes, and the count goes to 1-1. The Orioles enter tonight's game at 47-29, 4.5 games back of the Rays in second place in the AL East. Next pitch, grounded foul down the third base line. The count is 1-2. Meanwhile, the Reds sit a half game ahead of the Milwaukee Brewers in first place in the NL Central. The Reds are 41-37. Cincy's dropped its last 2, but had a 12-game winning streak before that. A 12-game winning streak that is tied for the 3rd longest streak in franchise history. Next pitch to Hayes, that's high. Count goes to 2-2. Hayes is having a really nice month of June, 333 average with an 874 OPS. He also has 10 extra base hits in the month of June. Just trying to get things started up for the O's, who trail by 1. Off the end of the bat, right field. Couple steps in for Senzel, and he makes the grab for out number 1 here in the first. 1 up, 1 down for Williamson. Let's set the defense for the Reds. Kurt Casale's behind the dish. Ellie De La Cruz at third base. Matt McLean's the shortstop. Jonathan India over at second with Kevin Newman at first. In the outfield, it's Spencer Steer in left, TJ Friedel in center, and Nick Senzel in right. So here's Adley Rutschman, the catcher. Switch hitter batting right against the lefty Williamson. Rutschman steps in, ready to hit. First pitch down the chute, and it's quickly 0-1. Williamson's 6 feet 6 inches tall, 25 years old in his first big league season. Made his big league debut back on May 16th at Colorado. Next pitch from the tall lefty. Rutschman shoots one down the right field line, foul, out of play. Counts 0-2. Williamson enters tonight's game with a 5.40 ERA, 22 earned runs in 36 2/3. This is his 8th start. 27 strikeouts, 13 walks for the rookie. Originally acquired by the Reds from Seattle in a trade that sent Eugenio Suarez and Jesse Winker to the Mariners. 2-strike pitch. Rutschman fouls off a breaking ball and rips it into the netting down the third base line. So he stays alive. Count remains 0-2. Rutschman's had a really solid season in his first full big league campaign. Made his major league debut in late May last season and has done nothing but produce since then. 0-2 pitch again. Rutschman fouls another one back. And the count remains 0-2. Umpires in tonight's ball game. Ryan Addison is behind home plate. Dan Merzel is the first base umpire. Will Little, the second base umpire. And Lance Barksdale is at third. 0-2 again in the dirt. Kept in front by Casale. And the count goes to 1-2 on Adley. 1-0 Cincy. After getting a run on 3 hits in the top of the first, Kevin Newman a leadoff double. Single from Jonathan India and then an RBI single from Spencer Steer with 2 outs. But Cole Irvin limited the damage. 1-2 pitch coming to Rutschman outside. Count evens up at 2-2. Rutschman leads All-American League catchers in on-base percentage this season with a .376 clip. Also leads AL catchers with 73 hits. 2-2 fouled off right side. And another one into the seats. Well, Rutschman was recently named a finalist in the AL All-Star voting, along with Jonah Heim, those two fighting for the fan vote to start the All-Star game. Rutschman with the open stance in the righty box, 2-2, high and away. So Adley doing a great job working the count full back in his favor. Not only does Adley lead AL catchers in on-base percentage and hits, he also leads all AL backstops with 50 walks this season. So a guy who's finding ways on base even when he's not getting hits. Ripped down the third base line, foul, and he fights off a 3-2. And part of the reason why he's worked 50 walks so far this year is because he's been able to work counts like this. You know, down in the count 0-2, fighting off multiple pitches, works the count back in his favor. And now a chance to put one in play. 3-2 again, inside, ball 4. And that is his 51st walk of the year. It's an excellent plate appearance by Adley to come back from 0-2 and find his way on base. So a man on with 1 out for Anthony Santander, the first baseman. Orioles trail 1-0, bottom 1. Game was supposed to start at 7:05 Eastern, but eventually started at 7:20 Eastern. So just a 15-minute delay with rain showers during the 6 o'clock hour. First pitch to the switch hitter Santander is over for a strike. It's 0-1. So with Rutschman at first, Santander in the box, and then Aaron Hicks to follow. That's 3 straight switch hitters in Orioles manager Brandon Hyde's lineup. Williamson looks over at first. Big hole on the right side for Santander. 0-1. Misses a little bit high. Counts 1-1. Santander enjoying a really strong month of June. 10 extra base hits and 14 runs driven in the calendar month. And 6 of those extra base hits and 10 of those RBIs are in his last 10 games. So he's on a little bit of a heater right now. Next pitch, swing and a miss. Good one there from Williamson as he gets ahead 1-2 on Santander. In his major league debut back on May 16th at Colorado, Williamson gave up just 1 earned run on 2 hits and 5 2/3, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks through 72 pitches. Heck of a debut. Now Santander flicks one in the air, shallow center, a couple steps in for Friedel. He makes the grab, and that is the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 gone and 1 on for Aaron Hicks, the right fielder. Hicks has been a huge addition to this Orioles team ever since the O's signed him to a major league contract after the Yankees parted ways with him earlier this year. He has 6 multi-hit games as an Oriole. He logged just 3 multi-hit games in 28 games this season with the Yankees before the Yankees cut ties with him. First pitch to the switch hitting Hicks is over for a strike, 0-1. O's down 1-0, bottom 1, 2 outs, and Rutschman at first. Hicks signed to a big league deal on May 30th. And this is his 29th game as an Oriole. Next pitch, breaking ball. 28 games as a Yankee before signing. Hit just 188 with a 263 on base with the Yankees, but a 292 average and a 387 on base with the O's. He's also slugging .554 in 21 games in Baltimore. 1-1 pitch coming from Williamson. Long pause, high leg kick, the pitch. Breaking ball catches the outer part of the plate. And the count goes to 1-2. And the primary reason why the Orioles signed Hicks was because Cedric Mullins, their everyday center fielder who is back now, had just gone on the injured list, and some of the left-handed hitting options down in AAA were also hurt. Colton Cowser, one of those guys. So Hicks takes outside, counts 2-2, and the Orioles wanted to bring in a left-handed bat. They ended up bringing in the switch-hitting bat Hicks, but a guy who can bat left-handed, you get the point. And Hicks has been great. I mean, they took a flyer on a guy who just was not getting it done with the Yankees. And he's done so much damage so far as an Oriole. 2-strike pitch, check swing, did not go. It's outside, and the count's full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, so Rutschman will be off on this next pitch. We'll see if Adley getting the jump start from first can help bring the O's a run. So Adley runs well for a catcher, and he'll have the head start. I mean, anything to left center or right center, or even down one of the lines could score him. Especially if a ball gets into deep left center where that wall juts out around the 398 sign. Well, now time is called as Curt Casali is heading towards the Reds dugout. I think he's having an issue with pitch comm or the earpiece in his helmet, something along those lines. So he's over by the third base dugout of the Reds to get that situated. So we've got a little bit of a delay here at the ballpark, but there are 2 down here in the bottom of the first with Rutschman at first. The count is 3-2 on Aaron Hicks. O's trail 1-0 after the RBI single from Spencer Steer in the top of the first. Cole Irvin allowed 3 hits in that first inning, but just the 1 run, and did a good job working out of trouble. Well, it looks like Casali's got that situation figured out. And we are ready to resume play here in Baltimore. So Rutschman will be off on the pitch as Williamson readies the 3-2. Looking over at first. Short lead for Adley. Next pitch. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball took something off there, and Hicks waved over it. So no runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on in the bottom of the first for the O's. Through a full inning of play, it's 1-0 Cincinnati. We'll take a quick break and head to the top of the second after these messages. Top of the second inning from Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Michael Marcantonini with you on the broadcast. 1-0 Cincy over Baltimore here as Tyler Stevenson, the designated hitter, gets set to lead off the top of the second against left-hander Cole Irvin. It's Stevenson, TJ Friedel, and Curt Casali. The 7, 8, 9 hitters for Cincy. First pitch of the inning, swing and a miss from Stevenson, and Irvin is ahead 0-1 on the Reds' designated hitter. His primary position is catcher, but getting a night off his feet tonight. Keep the bat in the lineup. 0-1 pitch. A little bit outside. Count is 1-1. Well, the numbers aren't great for Irvin this season, but they're getting better. Now, he was just recalled from AAA Norfolk on June 10th for his 3rd big league stint this year. Slow changeup, chopped out to short. Mateo backhands it. Throws low, but Santander is there to handle it. And that is a quick out number 1 for Irvin here in the second. So 6-3 on the putout. That brings up Friedel. But things are getting better for Irvin. Now, was traded by the Oakland A's over to the Orioles in the offseason. After a career year in the big leagues, posted career bests in almost every major category last year as an A. And then Orioles trade for him in the offseason. Tough start to his year, but things are turning around. Misses outside there to the left-handed hitting TJ Friedel. Count is 1-0. Just a 55 ERA plus for Irvin entering today's game. Next pitch misses inside, and the count's 2-0. But I mentioned the 7.71 ERA earlier. So, yeah, that's one thing, but his fielding independent pitching is 5.41. So, more than 2 runs lower ERA to FIP, and that pitch is inside for a strike, 2-1. Now, fielding independent pitching doesn't take in everything. Now, it's a stat that shows you what a pitcher can control out of the mound and takes defense out of it. So as that pitch misses inside to make it 3-1, you talk about what a pitcher can control. So strikeouts, walks, hit by pitches, and home runs. So the fact that his FIP is more than 2 runs lower than his ERA, that says something. And it's, it's definitely something to look towards as this season goes on, as Irvin looks to get in a groove and really start to find himself out there with the big league club. 3-1 pitch to Friedel. Skied in the air, left center and shallow. We'll see who wants it. It's McKenna, the left fielder, who makes the grab. And that is 2 up, 2 down in the second for Irvin. So Cole settling in nicely. He's retired 3 batters in a row. Brings up Kurt Casale, the catcher. Casale in the 9-hole tonight. Veteran catcher has been around throughout his big league career. So Casale hits with 2 gone and no one on. Reds lead at 1-0 here in the top of the second. First pitch to Casale's over for a strike. It's 0-1. So Irvin really settling in right now as he looks for his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Readying the 0-1. Here it is, swing and a miss. Good one there on the outer half. It's 0-2. All 4 infielders straight away for the O's. McKenna and Hickson left and right respectively straight away. Mullins, the center fielder, shading a little bit towards right center. Rutschman wants it high. 0-2 pitch, gets it high, check swing, and he went around. That's a 1-2-3 top of the second for Cole Irvin. Ground out, fly out, strikeout. And that is a quick top of the second. So we'll head to the bottom half of the inning. Orioles still trail 1-0. We'll see if they can get on the board after these messages. 1-0 Reds over the Orioles, bottom of the second inning from Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Ramon Urias, Cedric Mullins, and Jordan Westberg. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the O's here in the home half of the second. Reds got on the board early, a run on 3 hits in the top of the first. Orioles got 1 on but couldn't score in the bottom half of the first. And then Cole Irvin worked a 1-2-3 top of the second. So here we are, bottom 2, as Urias leads things off. First pitch to Ramon, misses outside. Count 1-0. Left-hander Brandon Williamson back to work, making his 8th start of the season. And he's been pretty solid for the Reds so far this year. Worked a clean bottom of the first. A 1-out walk to Rutschman, only base runner, as Urias sends one to right center, and a nice diving grab by TJ Friedel in the gap. That one hung up there just a little bit too long, and Urias, who took a hit away from Nick Senzel in the top of the first, has a hit taken away from him here in the bottom of the second. That brings up Cedric Mullins with 1 out and no one on. Mullins has had a really nice season for the O's, an 816 OPS and a 128 OPS plus. That's 28% above league average. This is his 3rd game off the injured list, was activated on Saturday before Game 2 of the series against Seattle. The first pitch to Seti is over for a strike, 0-1. An abbreviated lefty shift on for Mullins. De La Cruz, the third baseman, way off the line. Next pitch, breaking ball, misses outside, 1-1. Well, some rain started to fall again here in Baltimore, but the 2 teams playing through it as of right now. Left on left, 1-1 to Mullins. Another breaking ball, this one even more outside. It's 2-1. So the fans all heading up onto the concourse for cover. Just a light rain as of right now. A lot heavier rain pregame. 2-1 pitch to Cedric, fouled back behind home plate. And a nice grab by a fan. Good heads-up play. And the count goes to 2-2. It's always fun seeing fans make grabs in the stands, and a lot of times they're barehanded grabs. And I think it's even more fun to see the reaction from the other fans who witness the great catches. Always gets the crowd into it, and, a jolt of energy throughout the ballpark never hurts. 2-2 pitch to Seti. That's high. Counts full. So I mentioned earlier in the broadcast that when Cedric Mullins went on the IL, that was the primary reason why the Orioles brought in Aaron Hicks. And now both those guys in the same lineup. Well, another foul ball high behind home plate. And that one hops up into the broadcast booth here. It took just an inning and a half, and the ball's up here in the broadcast booth. I got it, everybody. We're good. Love that. 3-2 pitch, another one fouled back. Well, you know what? I should have brought my glove tonight. I mean, I think that's really what I should have done. Had I known that, the broadcast booth here at Camden Yards was going to have so many baseballs flying up this way. I would have had the leather with me. So Cedric waiting on the 3-2 pitch. Here it is from Williamson. Swing and a miss. Half-hearted cut there. Breaking ball fooled him. And that is out number 2 here in the second. Well, that brings up Jordan Westberg, the rookie infielder, who gets a huge ovation from the home crowd here in Baltimore as he steps up to the plate for his first Major League plate appearance. Right-handed hitter with a slightly open stance in the box with 2 gone and no one on here in the bottom of the second. And now Williamson steps off, pointing to his hat. I think he's saying that he can't hear the pitch comm. And I think there's a little bit of a pitch comm issue right now, and now it looks like they've got things worked out. Well, how about this? First Major League plate appearance, and you got to do it in the rain. The rain continues to fall as the crowd's hyped for Westberg. First pitch to him, breaking ball over for a strike. It's 0-1. Westberg making his Major League debut after posting a .939 OPS and 35 extra base hits in 67 games at AAA Norfolk earlier this season. Swings and fouls one back, counts 0-2. So a heck of a year, a heck of a first half at AAA with the Tides. And he earned every bit of this call-up. 18 home runs down in AAA this year, so he's got plenty of pop. 0-2 pitch coming, a little bit outside, and the count's 1-2. So not only does he have to hit in the rain for his first big league plate appearance, I mean, it is really coming down. So, I mean, I can't imagine, the heart's got to be racing, and to deal with the rain, that's tough. 1-2, breaking ball low and in. And the count goes to 2-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Reds lead it 1-0 over the Orioles in the series opener between these two teams. First and only series meeting between the clubs this year. Both young, exciting clubs playing really good baseball right now. 2-2 pitch coming up to Westberg, and now Williamson steps off again. And he's saying that he can't hear the call via pitch comm. So Casale trying to figure things out with the pitch comm behind home plate. And now Williamson steps back on. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. No one on here in the second. Next pitch, high, ball 3. And Westberg's worked it back in his favor. Let's go O's chant in the ballpark right now, and Brandon Williamson is having trouble hearing over the crowd noise. So puts his hat back on, knows what the pitch is. Here's the 3-2 to Westberg, fouled back, and Jordan will see at least one more. A 24-year-old infielder from Texas, played his college ball at Mississippi State. Was the 30th overall pick in the 2020 MLB draft. The O's selected Heston Kjerstad number 2 overall that year, and then Westberg. 3-2 pitch, and it's ball 4. It missed down, and Westberg walks in his first big league plate appearance. Count was 1-2. He worked it back to full, and then works the 2-out walk to keep the inning alive. So Westberg trots down to first, and now David Bell, the Reds manager, is out to chat with the umpiring crew. I don't know what Bell wants exactly. I think they're going to check on Williamson. So another little bit of a delay here in Baltimore. Orioles trail 1-0, bottom 2. But we've got a pretty exciting one so far tonight. I mean, you just look at the pieces that are in both of these lineups. And now the grounds crew is going to come out to apply some Diamond Dry and pack down some more dirt in front of home plate. And I think Williamson's still having a little bit of an issue with his pitch comm receiver. So they're going to get some diamond dry on the mound and around home plate in the batter's boxes and try to dry things up a little bit and help out the pitchers in this one, also the batters and the catcher and umpire. So while they tend to the mound, we'll take a quick break here on the broadcast. So we're ready to resume play here with 2 outs and a man on first here in the bottom of the second. 1-0 Reds. Williamson back to work against the 8-hole hitter Ryan McKenna. Move over to first. Westberg back standing. So a brief delay as the grounds crew brought some diamond dry out and applied it to the mound and home plate. As Ryan McKenna looks to keep this thing going. McKenna hit a walk-off 2-run home run in Saturday's win against Seattle. As it takes outside there. McKenna, really solid month of June. 930 OPS in the calendar month. Looking to keep it going. 1-0 pitch, high and away. And the count is 2-0. So Westberg over at first. He worked a walk in his first big league plate appearance. 2 walks for Brandon Williamson so far tonight, but has yet to allow a hit. Also has a couple strikeouts. McKenna awaiting the 2-0. Big hole in the right side for him. Hard hit ground ball foul down the third base line. It's 2-1. Williamson's been able to give the Reds some length this season. He's worked 5+ innings in 5 of his 7 starts entering tonight. Career high 6 2/3 back on June 2nd. So he'll look to go deep in this one to help out the Reds bullpen. Irvin looking to do the same on the flip side for Baltimore. Westberg at first, 2 down, 2-1. Misses outside, counts 3-1 now on McKenna. So the command has not been great for Williamson so far tonight. Has those 2 walks and might be headed towards a third. Rain continues to fall as Williamson readies the 3-1. Here it is, swing and a miss. Count runs full. So Westberg will be off on the pitch from first, 3-2, 2 outs. As the O's look to tie this thing up or even take the lead. At AAA this season, Westberg was 6 for 6 in stolen base attempts. Doesn't run often, but when he does, he's been successful. Orioles, one of the better base-stealing teams in the major leagues this season. Same can be said for the Reds. 3-2 pitch. Westberg goes, fouled back. I mean, you take a look at the way both of these teams are built. You've got young, athletic studs out there and, guys who can get it done with the bat, in the field, with their legs. The pitching staffs on both teams getting it done this year. Should be a really fun, exciting series between these two clubs. 3-2 again, high and away, ball 4. Back-to-back 2-out walks from Brandon Williamson, and there are runners at first and second for the 9-hole hitter Jorge Mateo. Third walk of the game for Williamson, and now Kurt Casale out to the mound to chat with the Reds starter. Well, the Reds got on the board in the top of the first. They lead it 1-0 here in the home second as rain continues to fall here in Baltimore. It's just been a tough couple of weeks weather-wise in the entire Mid-Atlantic Northeast region. A lot of fans braving the rain tonight. They've got the umbrellas out, the ponchos, the rain jackets. Plenty of fans still watching from their seats. Now, plenty have also taken cover under the overhangs and on the concourse, but we've got some true dedicated fans out there staying put. Williamson looks at second. Tying runs out there. It's Westberg. Go-ahead run at first. That's McKenna as Mateo takes high, counts 1-0. Mateo's struggling with the bat lately, but he has been great defensively all season, and that's part of the reason why he stays in this lineup. That and his ability to steal bases. 1-0. Pitch misses outside. It's 2-0. So all of a sudden, Williamson can't find the strike zone, and with the count 2-0 after 2 straight walks, we've got a meeting on the mound. So the Reds will talk things over out on the mound as battery mates Casale and Williamson chat with pitching coach Derek Johnson. And Orioles grounds crew talking with the umpiring crew about the weather situation and, the radar and what the forecast looks like as we move on here. Rain continues to fall pretty steadily, but we're good. We're playing through this. And now the meeting on the mound over with, so Mateo will hit with the count 2-0. Runners at first and second, 2 gone here in the home second. First 2 batters of the inning made outs, but Westberg worked a walk, McKenna followed with a walk, and now Mateo ahead in the count. Williamson ready, 2-0 pitch. That one's over for a strike, and the count's 2-1. Bird's looking to put together a little 2-out rally, get one home to erase this early 1-0 deficit. 2-1 from Williamson, misses outside. It's 3-1. Well, taking a look at what Brandon Williamson has done this season, he entered tonight's game with just 13 walks on the year. Mateo fouls the 3-1 back. It's 3-2 now. But he's walked 3 so far tonight after he didn't walk anyone in his last 2 outings combined. So 10 innings over his last 2 outings, no walks. But in his first 5 career starts, he walked at least 2 in all of them. Well, Mateo going to get a new bat. And he will head back into the right-handed batter's box. Count is 3-2 with 2 down here in the home second. Both runners will be off on the pitch. Westberg leads off second, and McKenna leads off first. O's trail by 1. Looking to turn things around. Both runners go, 3-2, foul back. So we'll do it again. Williamson's pitch count continues to climb. Take a look at what these 2 pitchers have done so far tonight. In 2 innings, Cole Irvin's thrown just 30 pitches. In 1 2/3, Williamson has thrown 55. So big difference there. Irvin has been much more efficient. Runners head off again. 3-2 sent in the air high down the left field line. That one will hook into the seats. And we'll do the 3-2 at least one more time. Well, Mateo got that one way up there, but not a ton of distance on it. And into the seats. So the runners will head back to their respective bases. And we'll do the 3-2 again. Mateo taps the plate, holds the bat out in front of him as Williamson retoes the rubber. 2 on with 2 outs here in the second. Birds down 1. The 3-2 pitch one more time. Mateo takes inside, ball 4, and that is the 3rd straight walk issued by Brandon Williamson. Westberg to 3rd, McKenna to 2nd, and Mateo down to 1st. So with his 3rd walk this inning, that is the 3rd time in 8 starts that Williamson has walked 3 or more batters in an outing. So the base is juiced for the leadoff man, Austin Hayes. Hayes flew out to right his first time up. First pitch to him in the dirt. Casale keeps it in front. It's 1-0. Well, no one is throwing in the Reds bullpen right now, but there's some stirring. Some guys stretching. And it looks like they're going to get somebody up. Derek Johnson, the Reds pitching coach, has already made 1 trip to the mound this inning. So the next mound visit, they'll have to take Williamson out of the game. Nowhere to put Hayes. Next pitch catches the inner part of the plate. It's 1-1. Westberg at 3rd, McKenna at 2nd, Mateo at 1st. O's trail 1-0. Well, a hit to the outfield will score 2 easily. Something in the gaps or down the line could score all 3. Check swing, appeal down to first, no swing. Says the first base umpire, Dan Merzel. And the count is 2-1. We'll take a look at the replay. I think the O's got away with one there, but they'll take it. Counts 2-1. Short leads for all three runners. Line drive over the head of India into right center field. One run is in. Here comes a second. It's a go-ahead two-run single for Austin Hayes. And the Birds grab a 2-1 lead here in the second. Westberg scores from third, McKenna from second, Mateo first to third, and Austin Hayes drives in two with 2 outs here in inning number 2. For Austin Hayes, RBIs number 32 and 33 this season. And on one swing, the O's go from down 1 to up 1. Take a look at the replay. A pitch up in the zone. Didn't try to do too much with it. Line drive over India's head at second into right center. And the last 4 have reached for the Orioles. And the inning continues for Adley Rutschman. So 2-0 O's. First pitch to Adley. Takes a changeup for a strike. And the count's 0-1. Well, there were 2 outs with no one on here in the home second. But Jordan Westberg worked a walk. McKenna and Mateo followed with walks themselves. And then Hayes, the 2-run single. Pickoff move over to first. Hayes back safely. 3 walks, and then the Birds finally get the big hit they needed. So 2-1 Orioles here in the second. As Rutschman looks to keep it going. He is the 7th man to hit in the frame. 0-1 pitch. Adley takes again. It's quickly 0-2. It's Mateo at third and Hayes at first. Orioles looking for more. Right-handers loosening up in the Reds' pen and doing so quickly. Williamson over 60 pitches at this point as he looks to work through. Runner takes off from first, chopper to short, handled by McLean over to first in time to get Rutschman. And the inning is finally over. 39 pitches for Williamson in the second. The Orioles send 7 to the plate, 3 walks, and then a go-ahead 2-run single from Austin Hayes. 2-1 O's after 2 full here in Baltimore. We'll head to the top of the third after these messages. Doubled to lead off the game and scored the only run of the night for the Reds. He's 1 for 2. Broken bat, grounder up the middle. Backhand play by Westberg. Glove flip to second, over to first, not in time. Nice play by Jordan Westberg. Backhand stab, and with the glove, was able to flip it to Mateo to get the lead runner at second. 1 out and no one on. Next pitch, breaking ball fought off the hand, sinking quickly. It's down into left. And Jordan Westberg has his first major league hit. 2-0 pitch coming, here it is. Fly ball left center, Friedel on his horse. He won't get there, it's down. Here comes Santander around third. Hicks pulls in at third. It's an RBI double for Ramon Urias, his second hit of the night. And the Orioles add another run. It's now a 5-1 game. His 1-2 pitch. On the outside corner, a called strike 3. Back-to-back punch-outs for Brian Baker. He's fired up as he works a 1-2-3 top of the 7th. RBIs number 32 and 33 on the season with that 2-run single earlier. Breaking ball blasted. Deep left field, hooking towards the wall. Steer lays out, can't make the grab. It one hops over the wall. It's an automatic double for Austin Hayes. So the inning continues for Rutschman. Swings at the first pitch and grounds one through the hole up the middle. 1 run is in. Here comes Hayes from second. It's a 2-run single for Adley Rutschman. And it's a 10 spot on the board for the Orioles. It's now a 10-3 game. Well, that'll do it for me tonight. O's win at 10-3. Back at it tomorrow at 7:05. Thanks for tuning in tonight. My name is Michael Marcantonini. Have a great night, O's fans.